lot of this history is not known.
Music school, his name was never mentioned.
Here's a man who undoubtedly is one of the most incredible composers of all time.
We were building a man whose history has been erased.
And of course, the music would be spectacular. Bold.
When I heard about him and that he was a composer of classical music who was mixed race and born in Guadeloupe and was living in Paris, I was really struck that there would be some guy whose background was in any way similar to mine, who was writing back in the time of Mozart.
May I play with you, monsieur?
Chevalier's musical imprint on the world at the time and his contemporaries was huge. He, in fact, is reputed to have shared an apartment with Mozart, who is about 13 years younger than Joseph.
I hope this won't be embarrassing for you.
It's crazy that he preceded Mozart, and now the article comes up and says the Black Mozart, as if he came up after, as if he was copying Mozart or any of that.
There's some really tricky, showy passages in his writing. Many violinists have expressed to me just how fun and surprisingly challenging it is to play.
Who the fuck is that?
The thing that was so heartbreaking when I was doing research about him is learning about how much of his music was lost, with Napoleon purposely destroying a lot of his music.
I'm putting on a concert. Let us fund the revolution.
With that, there's so much of his genius that will never be found again. And so there are pieces that I would see on his catalog list that maybe even survived that destruction, but nobody's ever recorded them.
We think of classical music as being old-fashioned or for high society. But at the time, that was the art of the day. That's the top 40.
It's pulling from all these different references of these Black rock stars that we love and adore and giving it to Joseph as he was the rock star of his time.
It's important for the audience to see his story taking place inside that understanding. He can shred on his axe just the way any guitarist could.
Making his name as ubiquitous as any other great composer, I think that can only be done by making sure that we're playing his music, we're recording his music, and furthering that, and talking about it for sure.
I really am honored to have a chance to tell his story. He's not a made-up character, he's a real guy. I'm so glad that it's coming to the screen, and people need to know about him.